Okay, hi, my name is Jessie, and today we're going to do a deep dive into the music video titled Formation and interpreted by Beyoncé. Okay, so let's start. So this video was released on February 6, 2016, and the duration of the video is 3 minutes and 26 seconds. And also, just to mention, in 2016, I believe, was the time when Obama was president. I'm a star, 'cause I slay. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spirituality wickedness in high places. Ye are of God little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Amen. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so formation. So let's talk about Beyoncé. So her name is Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter. But the focus of this video is not really about Beyoncé, but more about the symbology and the representation, the story that is being told behind the music. That's what is important. Okay, so Formation is a song from her 6th studio album titled Lemonade. Through Parkwood Columbia Records, the song was released. Columbia, it's important. The songwriters on this project are Ashton Hogan, which I don't know, Swally, the one who sings I Ain't Got No Type, and Beyoncé herself. It was produced by Mike Will, who also contributed in the writing, and it was recorded in New York. Okay, so the song was mentioned in Rolling Stone, Complex Magazine, Entertainment Weekly, which is also a magazine, by BBC, which is a broadcast Columbia, no, broadcast, okay, I can't remember the second B, and then Red Bull, the Irish Times, which is also a magazine, Harper's Bazaar, ID Magazine, Essence Magazine, Insider, GQ Magazine, etc. So it's really to show how the media outlets were mentioning this song, pushing this song. And of course, it is a marketing strategy. And then it also won awards for the visuals to the song from BET, MTV, Cannes, which is a festival, the Grammys, UK MVA, the Webby Awards, which is related to the internet, and more. Okay, I think he even went to Africa, so it's really like a worldwide song that, or at least a song that was broadcast and marketed in a worldwide way. And of course, so that means big budgets too. Okay, so also one thing that I want to mention about Beyoncé is that I've heard a lot of acronyms that were attached to her name. You know, like the If I Were a Boy, If I Were a Boy. And then, so I've heard Beyoncé for Boy Once. And the other acronym that I've heard when I was looking for what Beyoncé means, like the behind story of the name. And it simply says that it means beyond others. And I think this picture is really depicting that. Especially she's on a silver horse. And the horse represents war. It represents power. And in the back, you see the painting, which also is a horse. And it kind of gives this colonial aspect to the photo. It gives me that feelings of like colonial. Like this person on that horse is not your friend. That's the feeling that it's giving me. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first off, I thought that was interesting because I've never noticed, But the music video is starting with a ritual. So you see this man, he's facing the wall, and he has his hand in the back as if like he's praying, but it's kind of weird because he's like facing a wall. So it really feels like a ritual, okay? And this scene is only lasting even like 1 second. So it's really fast. It goes really fast. Okay, so then it starts here with Beyoncé on the police car. And mind you, this music video was released in 2016, so 4 years before the 2020, the Black Lives Matter. So she says, paparazzi catch my fly and my cocky fresh. I couldn't help but see the word cock. And I was wondering, is that a reference to, is that like subliminal messages? Okay. Okay, so what is inside this book? Okay, yes. I'd like to present you this figure. So this figure is supposed to be Jesus. But I just want to show throughout this image how sometimes an image has a lot of hidden image inside of it. So first of all, let's pay attention to the shapes. So of course you see the cross, okay? But this one is made differently because these are added. So what you get here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you kind of get like a diamond if you shape around it. Like a diamond. And then, see here? This looks like a male genital. Okay? And this was very scandalous in the church when they discovered this hidden image. So you know when they tell you that cartoons sometimes have hidden images? Well, this is it. This is exactly the same technique they're using. So people are going to say, oh, this is his stomach. But in reality, this is a penis, and your subconscious is absorbing it. And of course, around the head, this is like the diadem. I don't know how to call it exactly. And of course, we know this is not Jesus. This is just blasphemous since Jesus is not on the cross anymore. And of course, there are people living in these little squares, which there are 3 in each side of the body. And this body, we can even say it's an altar, a sacrifice to maybe a false god in that case. But Jesus was sacrificed for the world, for men. So yes, so yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. The Black Lives Matter was not about blacks, because where did the money go? And I think a principle that we should always keep in mind is to look at where the money goes, okay? Okay, so another thing too is now I think there's a movie that just came out titled Purple. And this is also a reference to the Purple Rain by Prince. He was not talking about the rain, but rain like raining over, dominion. And purple nowadays is associated to women. In the political circle, you see there was a time where all the women were wearing purple, and it was actually a subject that they decided to take into the news, the newspaper, basically. So this is all these references. This is really all I see in this photo. It's like a really subliminal message. And also, this is representing judgment, because the flood, you know, the flood that happened, it was a matter of when God was judging the world, but he was saving Noah because he was saving his prosperity. So the judgments was for the evil ones, not for God's people. God's people, because they found grace, a boat as a representation of grace was created so God can save them and continue his plan, which is to build the kingdom of light. Okay, so let's start. Let's continue. Mama Louisiana. Okay, so this is basically, she's presenting a painting here, but this painting is, you see, like, it looks like a ritual once again. And I've seen this. I do have a photographer that I really enjoy, okay? And her work is Renaud Medrano. And she had a work that she did. I don't know the people in the photo, but it was a man, and then he was like pregnant, okay? So I don't know if so that kind of reminds me of that photo. I'm not saying this is it exactly, but you know, the placement, that's the first thing that I thought of. And also the umbrella. What does the umbrella represent? Because once again, it reminds me of the song of Rihanna, Under My Umbrella. But what did she meant? Because I watched a movie titled Astral City, which I have a video on this channel that I've reviewed that movie. And it was interesting because there was like a environment that they called Umbral, which reminded me of umbrella, and that place was full of mort vivant. In English, I would say like Walking Dead. Yeah, exactly. Which reminded me of Thriller. Anyway, so there's a lot of reference here. But one thing to know is that sometimes paintings can be inhabited. Okay, so this is something people tend to forget in the spiritual, is that objects can be inhabited, and very often paintings are used to inhabit the spirit of whatever artists they're praising. So then it continues, and we see that photo, which kind of remind me of like the Mona Lisa, but as a Haitian or Black woman, I don't know. So the reference is really like Haitian royalty, because that brings me back to Haiti. Okay, in Haiti, there was a king named Henri Christophe. Okay, he was assassinated, just like the story of Jovenel, and his wife was Marie-Louise, okay? And I think this is interesting because Louisiana, you'll see the lyrics later why I did the reference to Haitian, because she's speaking about the Creole. But Mama Louisiana, which reminds me of Marie-Louise, then Henri Christophe was her husband, and when he died, when he was assassinated, she flew to Italy, and she had 2 daughters who came with her. So she had 3 children in total. The boy stayed in Haiti and was killed after his father. But the 2 women went with her. And one of her daughters, her name was Athena, which I think is interesting because in 1951, Athena died. Okay. And keep in mind, they're in Italy. Okay. They flew the country. So Athena died in 1951, and at that same time, the Statue of Liberty appeared in New York, okay?
The following program comes to you from New York in living color on NBC. The Bell Telephone Hour presents
Athena. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. So with that Illuminati mess, okay, so just this image right here, you can see the hat that she's wearing. Okay, once again, some people might say, oh, it's like a cowboy fashion, but truly, to be honest, it's more like a colonial fashion. So it's as if this image, or at least what this is saying, is that they're invading us, basically. And also, this costume, okay, this colonial costume was used in the early age of the golden, when live theater was a thing with the circus. It was used to depict a character of a clown disguised as a gentleman, basically. So really, like, the suit in itself was a costume used for the clown. It's just that nowadays they've adapted it to when we have a speech.
It requires the occasional disruption, the willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo. That's America.
But truly, it is what it is. And also, it is a costume that we often see magicians wear, like this hat. And also the people that are part of the synagogue of Satan also has this fashion. And also, to go back to this colonial image, I'm going to present an image of Bonaparte, okay, during the Exposition Universelle that happened in Paris in 1889, around 1889. And yeah, you see, like, he has the same hat, okay, the same colonial hat. So this is really what it reminds me of. And also in the back, okay, with the constructions, you see the columns. Some people call them the Roman columns, but truly what they represent is the columns of the earth. Because most people think that the earth is really a round circle, which is probably false, since when the Bible describes the earth, yes, there is a dome on top, a dome, in reference to the architecture that you see today. So you see the dome, which represents dominion, which represent the heavens, the sky, where you see also the rainbow, which is the covenant that God made with Noah during the flood, after the flood, as a promise that he will never flood the earth again, as a way to exterminate. And so going back to the columns, so here the columns represents the order. In terms of God, he had 7 columns, which represents the columns of the earth, which represents the word, his word, the word of God, and which also represents how profound God is, how deep he actually is. Because there's a verse when he asked one of his servants, do you know where the measurements of the columns of earth stops? Like, do you know the end of them? And have you measured the height of the sky? So it's like, have you measured and the columns of the earth? So the mountains are the columns. The mountains goes really deep into the ground, and even there's a space in the sea where you don't even see fish don't even have access to these spaces because it's too deep, and only cameras or humans that are well equipped and able to go through the rocks, okay, people that are really courageous, honestly, are able to go there. And only, I think, deep, only cells are able to live. And when you go deeper into the sea, even the fish, okay, their skin gets lighter and lighter and lighter. You will see transparent fish because the weight of the water is too heavy. So anyway, it's just to explain how what it means, basically the columns and the dome. And you'll see the columns and the dome used. Okay, so God literally like has 7 columns. Then you'll see later I'll show you that, oh yeah, the tombs of the Olmec, they have 6 columns. Then I think sometimes we see 8 columns, but here we see 4 columns. Okay, so these are all orders. There's a symbology behind it. It's not just and also one thing that I want to point out in this photo is that Beyoncé is like seems to be leading the men, which is pretty interesting because it always reminds me to that song, If I Were a Boy. But how, like, it's like, what is it, you know? And also, some people see Beyonce as the female leader of women. But one thing that I've noticed is that, well, a lot of LGBTQ community actually follows Beyonce, and I feel like they follow her and love her even more than the women, at least the women around me. Okay, so
Twitter user Corey Lancaster was curious if there was a single man out there who could live up to the single lady singer. Who is the Beyonce of men? Well, the Twitter universe wasted no time getting information with their opinion. Y'all gonna hate it, but it's Chris Brown.
What?
LOL, Black Pyramid might be the most popular clothing brand from any entertainer right now. Definitely not Chris Brown. Beyonce is the Beyonce of men. Duh.
I agree with that. I love that.
You mix that Negro with that Creole, and that's why I mentioned Mama Louisiana, which is Marie-Louise, Henri Christophe. But we also, of course, we have Dessalines, which who was sabotaged, but this is like the royalty, okay? So also it is a reference to Basquiat. Basquiat, who was a Haitian artist based in New York. I'm not explaining this further. I'm just pointing this out. If you want to know more about it, I think you should go watch my web series titled Babylon and Hidden Sight. Then we also, of course, see the colonization, the fake Jews, okay, just like the Bible is also referencing to. Because there's a Bible verse that says, they say they're Jews, but they're from the synagogue of Satan. So we do have imposters, okay? Imposters who made their image internationally known as Israelites, when in reality they are from the synagogue of Satan. And I think it's interesting you mix that Negro with that Creole. So Negro and Creole is 2 different things. So I'm wondering, is it Negro like as for the Africans who were brought overseas as slaves, and then Creole meaning like the people living in the islands? Because what's interesting is that Creole is not only spoken in Haiti. All around Haiti, people speak Creole, even the Martinique. And anyway, so let's continue. So I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. And see, in this image, you see Bama. So is that a reference to Obama? And you see the typical afro, which also reminds me of, what's his name? What's their name? Yeah, the Black Panther movement. Okay, that reminds me of that because they were known for their fashion and mostly for the afros and the black leather jacket. Okay, so we know that for Black people, the nostrils and the mouth is it's like the reference to know like whether you're Black. Even the people who don't, the Blacks who don't have the melanin, I forgot the term. But these people also, you can see they're Black by looking at their features, especially their nose and their mouth. And there's also this thing called black fishing, where white would put black makeup, or at least brown makeup, okay, and just to appear Black and to fool people's sight. And some people think that Oh, this was used in theater, in the early live theater, where when the clown was made a character, a golden character at the time. So he was painting his face. And also even Santa, when you go back to the Roman history, you realize that Santa had a slave, okay? Santa for Satan, okay? He had a slave. And that slave, he was a black slave, basically. And what is interesting is that when the story goes, you realize that they reproduced that same black, but they took a white man painted in black. So that persona is always used. And we can think of Uncle Ruckus, these type of characters. So basically, this is a reference to the Pharaoh, because Barack Obama represents the Pharaoh. And it is also a representation to Michael Jackson, who also has a Pharaoh, who also is a Pharaoh. And the reason why that I'm saying that, Barack Obama, you can check Akhenaten, okay? He was the 10 ruler of Luke 10:18, the 10 ruler of the 18 dynasty. And then Michael Jackson, there was a Egyptian exhibition that happened in Chicago. And there was the face of a pharaoh who looks exactly like Michael Jackson. So, yes. So this is really the reference, Jackson 5, then you see Obama.
Hey, listen, radio is defined theater of mind.
Might get your song played on the radio station.
Ted Williams with you.
It's the Golden Boys, Golden
That's
Boys.
right.
It's the Golden Boys. Shine up. Your voice is golden.
That's right.
My daddy, Alabama. Mama, Louisiana.
America. Avoiding uncomfortable truths, it requires the occasional disruption.
You mix that Negro with that Creole, make a Texas Bama.
The willingness to speak out for what is right, to shake up the status quo, that's America.
Like my Negro knows what Jackson 5 nostrils.
Like my Negro knows what Jackson 5 nostrils.
Yeah, obviously. Then, okay, ladies, now let's get into information. So you see, Beyonce was in front of the men's, okay? But then now she's saying to the ladies, let's get information. So what is the formation that the ladies are going through? Like, what is the program? That's my question. So what's in the program? Because I slay. No, the question is, what does slay means? What is this lingo, slay? Maybe I should check it out. Let's see. Slay meaning. What? Kill a person or an animal because I slay, I kill. You know, that reminds me. There's a Bible verse that says the woman will be the image used as a way to end the world. And I think this is what we're seeing here. Let me continue. Okay, yeah, exactly. Like we were referencing in the beginning, the purple rain in reference to Prince. So the purple rain, what it refers to, if you're familiar with the artist Prince, he had a symbol that he always presented during an interview, okay? And the symbol represents male and female intertwined, basically. And I think like the movement of transgender is what he was talking about, the purple rain. So it's really taking the image of women and perverting the image of women. So I think because I slay. So okay, ladies, now let's get information. Because I slay, because I kill. Okay? And then this is what you see. And what is interesting is that in the back, once again, you see men in a parade. This looks like really like a parade. And so, yeah. So it's like, who is Beyonce? Is she leading the man? Is she leading the woman? That is the question that the media is trying to bring buzz to.
I I just might be a black Bill Gates and I'm making it. I want it.
And then she says, when he F me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster. So, okay, so I don't know who is Beyonce. Like, is she saying that she's a male? Is she saying, or maybe she's inhabited by a male spirit? I don't know exactly. But she's like giving this persona of a female pimp, okay? This is crazy. Female pimp. But she looks very feminine, but the energy, and also with this colonial hat. Female pimp. And then she does that, which I don't know what does that represents, but I feel like it represents some like ego, but it feels really like a cult thing, okay? A cult message sign, I don't know. So she says then, I might get your song played on the radio station, okay? And this is a reference to Christophe Columbus, who represents the colombe, la colombe, the bird, okay? The bird of freedom, which also represents Colombia, because Colombia is the personification of Christophe Colomb. So they personified Christophe Colomb as a woman. Beyoncé is signed to Colombia. Colombia owns her records. And Colombia is basically BBC, CBC, CBS, whatever, which is attached to the Queen of Elizabeth. She was the face of Colombia, which is interesting because just recently in the museum, the Wax Museum in London, just recently, when Beyonce did the Coachella concert, they made her, okay, so they made her wax figure and they replaced the Queen Elizabeth with Beyonce. And it was, I think, for a day, something like that. So I think it's really interesting. And also Colombia, she's known for the color yellow when she's worshipping the sun, and color cyan blue because she's a marine spirit. And also known maybe as a prince of power of air. And air, think of radio air, sound traveling faster through water too, and better. And also and also the Statue of Liberty, okay? And once again, this brings me back to Mama Louisiana, who was a Haitian queen, but in reference to the Haitian queen of Marie-Louise, who had her daughter, Athena, when she died in 1951, when she was in Italy, when she was fleeing Haiti because her dad was murdered. Well, when she died in 1951, then the Statue of Liberty appeared in New York City that same year. And it says that it was a gift from Paris. So it's really interesting. And that remains, then that made me think of the Dragon Lady, the AKA Dragon Lady called Michelle Bennett, who loved to go to Paris and buy fashion designers. So I think there's a lot of references through that. Okay, there's Haiti. There is something with Haiti. Okay, I know what it is. And you that is watching this, you probably have an idea of what it is, or maybe you know. But I feel like Haiti could be the anchor, that Haiti is Israel, or Haiti is the place where the temple was. Because if these are the fake Jewish, then who are the real Jewish? And why is it that black is such a big topic? And what is it that there's a difference with Negro and Creole? And also, like, one thing to mention is that Haiti was the first country to be independent. And what does it mean to be independent? That means that your economy is independent. You produce your own thing. You're your own boss. You make your own prices. You don't depend on anyone, any country, because Haiti is known to have a lot of natural resources and a lot of fruits, a lot of even people. There's a lot of children in Haiti. So let's continue. So you just might be a Black Bill Gates in the making. So she's basically telling the viewer, okay, us viewers, as a way to hypnotize us, that because this scene, I'm sorry, but this scene looks like a ritual once again, like African magic. But I'm gonna be honest, like the aesthetic is beautiful, like the colors, the light colors, but this is just weird. This is weird, and this is weird. Okay. Anyway, so I might just be Black Bill Gates in the making. So once again, she's comparing herself to a man, and she's here on the police car, and she has her 2 arms open, and she reminds me of Colombia, like Colombia with her 2 arms open, you know, like and once again the reference to the flood, judgment. And now she said, I see it, I want it. And you know, see it, want it, she's basically encouraging the viewer or the listener to lust after what they see. And that is one of the sins that is really bad, because you first sin in your heart. You know, when you lust after something, you listen, okay, it starts in the mind. And then she once again has this umbrella. She hides herself from the sun. And she also has like this, but I don't know what does that. The wheel, it represents a wheel. A wheel. Then you have the cross here. You have the tableau, but I don't know like who. Anyway. Okay, so then you once again, I have a dream. Martin Luther King, who's also like, he was the one like who fought for freedom. He's known as the Negro leader, which is interesting because there's a distinction between Negro and Creole. Then, and it once again, just to go back to the Negro and Creole, it is interesting because when I traveled to the US, most people, when you ask them like, what's your nationality, most of them will just say Black American. But when you like meet a Creole person or a Jamaican person, they'll tell you that like I'm Jamaican, and the Creole person or the Haitian person will tell you I'm a Haitian. But yeah, so I feel like I can see maybe the difference between like what they call Negro, but I think the right words would simply be African and the Creole. It's 2 different nations, I think, from what I understand. Okay, so the I have a dream, but once again, Martin Luther King, was he really fighting for freedom? Okay, because now the question is, what is freedom? That is the question that I'm asking you. What is freedom? Because most people think that freedom is to do whatever you want, but truly, freedom is when you have a set of rules that will keep you free, just like the commandments. The commandments were made to keep us free. And when we just go with the desire, with lust, we move with lust instead of love, then we're slave to our own body, to destructive desires. And this is one of the reasons God says he made the flesh and the spirit opposites, so that we don't do whatever we want. So that's why he also says that if you don't want to accomplish the desire of the flesh, then walk by the spirit. Okay, so I dream it, I work hard. So she's really pushing the working hard. And we all know that nowadays in the purple rain, okay, women are accused of being masculine because they want to climb the ladder. They're willing to do everything, and they work hard. And sometimes also there's a conflict with, do I want a family, or do I still work, or I work harder? Is it the money? Is it the family? Okay, so this is really the American dream, and I feel like in all of like, if I could do a resume or summary, us Blacks or Israelites, they want to take us as prostitutes. That's basically what they're saying. And prostitution is way bigger than me like going to the club and dancing, or me getting paid to have sex. It's me letting the devil use my body, okay, to to his own means instead of letting the Holy Spirit inhabit my body.
And do impersonations of other folks, you know, instead of allowing that spirit, you know. But I sit up and I'll pray for a little bit and go in a dark place, go in the bathroom, turn off the lights, look in the mirror. We'll have the light on at first, and then after 1 minute, turn the light off, and, you know, and search until you see your own glow, your own aura, and then you watch it change.
Wow.
And it's a scary thing because you'll feel like some hands are on you, and you lose a little bit of control of what you're doing. But, you know, if you stay with it, you know, you'll be inhabited by something, and then you walk out, and the character's with you, and you got to know how to say goodbye to it.
Right.
If you really want to get there.
Right.
You know, a lot of people are afraid, you know, to empty themselves and be filled up with something else. But, you know, as an actor, you're an emotional prostitute.
Wow.
You know, you put on whatever you need for the John. You put on, you're turning a trick. You're turning an emotional trick.
Wow.
And it's nothing more glorious than that.
Okay.
And this is really what they're doing. Like, they're just casting spells through broadcasting. Okay? Casting spell. And basically, like, they're talking to the viewer. You just might be a Black Bill Gates in the making. She's talking to the viewer. So she's really like casting spells. That's how they do it. They conquer your land. They conquer your mind. They conquer your body. And they conquer your identity. That's what the colonials did. And the first thing they do is that they F up our language. Okay, they erase the language. And that's how you erase a culture too. But when you have the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit is way more than this language, okay? Okay, so El Camino with these silos, I don't know what's the reference, but Adidas, we all know that it is related to Balenciaga, Bahali's King, the pyramids of Giza, the 666, the monster drinks, like the 3 lines. Then once again, you see, she says, I'm a star. Okay, and see the sign that she's doing. I don't know what it means exactly, but this is weird. Okay, this is literally like a ritual. And then this is a reference to Aleister Crowley, because Aleister Crowley believed in star. In the Bible, star, it refers to the star of Remphan. Of course, when Jesus was born, a star appeared. And also the prosperity of God seems to me like they're written in the stars, okay, above. Because even when Satan sinned against God, rebelled, his stars fell into the ground, which now we say fallen angels.
I'm a star. 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 'Cause I slay. I slay.
So they were once stars, but because they disobeyed, now they're fallen angels. And the promise that God made to Abraham, your prosperity will be as numerous as the stars. So this is, But in that case, okay, we're talking about the synagogue of Satan. So it is a reference to Aleister Crowley, because he says that in everyone there's a star. Now, what is a star to them? A star is Dagon and Remphan, okay, these two spirits. So the sky, Remphan, who represents the sky, the sun god, the bird, the phoenix, whatever. And then Dagon, which represents the sirens, the sharks, the undersea kingdom. So when they unite, they made the siren, which she's like sometimes depicted as a bird, sometimes she's depicted as a fish woman, but the siren liber inter, so now she has legs, so she's like in 3 parts. Anyway, I don't know if that's clear, but yeah. So inter meaning like Dagon and Remphan, the star, which gives you the star Remphan.
about you seems different. I can't quite figure it out.
She got legs, you idiot.
Of course, once again, this is a reference to the Black Lives. And remember, this was released in 2016. So I think they were just projecting us what their plans were. So slay, trick, or get eliminated. Slay, trick. Slay, which means kill. I don't know what that means. What is that reference? But everyone has their arms up. Even the police, which is weird. It's as if like... And also the black hoodie. You know, like the black hood, the fashion. And that reminds me of Candice Owen. She said something that really shocked me. She released her documentary for the Black Lives. And she said to her audience, and I know because I was one of them, she said, wear black when you watch my movie. When you watch a documentary, wear a black outfit. And I think that's so weird. I think I've heard Kanye said the same thing. So there's really like something that is going on with that black hood. And black hood, that is just weird. And that reminds me of the KKK because they're like white hood, then black hood. And that reminds me of the le petit chaperon rouge, you know, the red hood. The red little hood. Then you see this, cops versus the citizen, I slay. And us in reference to the United States. So think about it. United Nation, United Kingdom, and now United States. Okay. So, okay, ladies, now let's get information. So see, that was a little boy here. And now she's talking to the ladies, back to the ladies. Let's get information, all in white. So black and white seems to be a very important topic. And black and white, it's also a reference to duality. You can think of chess, the chess game. Okay, so you playing both sides. Now, once again, we see her, you know, that B. Okay, and that B, I'm sorry, but this is not a compliment. And this is not like people who uses the word be as normal, I think you're bewitched. Because that sound, like, it's like you're calling someone in Creole, we would say vermine. In French, we would say, we would say be too, but like the whore, basically, the whore of Babylon. This is basically what you're looking at, okay? And then when you cause all this conversation, so she's submerged in the water because she's from the Marine Kingdom, baby. Okay, she's from the Marine Kingdom, and I can guarantee you she's not going to how do we say that? Elle va pas se noyer. Okay, she's not gonna, like, she's a siren basically. This is a spirit, like, but that reminds me of Sasha Fierce. Who is Sasha Fierce? What does fierce means? I should go check. Okay, so best revenge is your paper. So this is basically it. Mammon, which is their god, the material world, really materialistic. Okay, it's like you're willing to do anything for all the riches of this world. But what is crazy is that this world, when you truly have the light, you realize that this world is like a garbage full of cockroach, and it is stinky, okay? But the devil has this ability to talk in your ears and make you see the world like gold, like the end goal, like the prize. When in reality, that world is dead. that is what is funny about it. Okay, so the devil, when he speaks to your ears, he knows how to, manipulate you. Okay, that's why we try not to entertain the devil. Okay, and yeah, basically your best revenge is your paper. So this is really a reference to prostitution, the body as currency. And that reminds me, B better have my money. Y'all should know me well enough. I think I should do a dive on that music video. Let me know. So Oh, that's it. I don't know what bandage. Okay, anyway, that was from another project. So one thing that I just like to see is wow. These rituals are like few seconds. We don't even see. Okay, I bet, okay? I think you should. Every time you watch a music video, just look at in the first seconds. Is there a ritual? Is there like a scene that goes by like in seconds? Okay, that if you don't pay attention, you won't see it. But even though if you don't pay attention, your brain catches it. That's the thing. That's why you have to be really vigilant with your portals, meaning your eyes and your ears. Okay, so that's it. That's it. I really hope you enjoyed like this video, and see you on the next one. It feels so good.